film I ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 50 now. The film of that, Modern Enduro, was because I was working at Mill Hill School at the time. The trip started and finished at Mill Hill School, and the children waved us off. And then 14 months later, we came back and they kind of waved us back, from the same spot. So it was quite, a nice kind of, proper circumnavigation of the world. And we're showing that film on the Saturday night as our outdoor screening. At the film festival on Friday, Saturday night, we have this giant outdoor screen suspended from 2 scaffolding towers and a projector like the size of one of those massive wheelie suitcases you take on holiday. And everyone sits outside on deck chairs and we watch those films. So we were on this trip and we went across Europe and Turkey and the Caucasus, across the Caspian Sea, through Central Asia and across Russia and Siberia, up to a place called Magadan in the far east of Russia. Then we flew across the Bering Straits to Alaska, drove from Alaska down to the bottom of Chile. Then we flew from Chile over to South Africa and then rode up through Africa to a country called Eritrea, and then got a boat over the Red Sea to Saudi, then drove across Saudi, and then through Jordan and Syria, Turkey, and then into Bulgaria, Serbia, and back to Eastern Europe, back to London. And so on that trip, there was obviously billions of memories, and loads of bad things happened. We broke down all the time, and getting punctures, and then you get rained on when you didn't want to, and stuff like that. But one of the best memories of that trip, which was, of course, a pretty, for an ordinary, I'm a maths teacher. That was like quite an exciting thing to do if you're a normal person with essentially a normal job. Was strange enough in America. We'd ridden across Europe, Central Asia, Russia, and Siberia, and that was pretty exhausting back in 1995. And we were driving down the Californian coast, and we were approaching San Francisco from the north, and I'd never been there before, and we were going along the motorway sort of thing through a place called Santa Rosa, and just kept following the signs, on the freeway that said San Francisco, and we were going along, went into a tunnel, and I didn't realize this is how it's laid out, is that when you come out of the tunnel, you're kind of above the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's about three-quarters of a mile away or a mile away in front of you on this hill, and you're then riding downhill towards it, and there's the Oakland Harbor and Alcatraz, and from Dirty Harry films and stuff like that, you've got a pretty good idea of what San Francisco looks like.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting it. I thought San Francisco was another 12 miles away or something like that. I wasn't really paying attention. So we came out of this tunnel mouth, and suddenly there it was. And we were riding along on our motorbikes. It was a sunny day, me and my friends. And I remember thinking, yeah, this is it. This is it. This is what we gave up our jobs for. This is what we saved money for. This is what we got into debt for. And all of the kind of misery in the former Soviet Union and getting stuck in bogs. And there's a whole lot of, I could tell you a million things about that trip. But it was kind of the reward of the easy road. It was California. The sun was shining. We had the address of some buddies we were going to go and stay with, so we were going to get looked after. And we were pretty, by then we'd been on the road 6 months. We were pretty confident, our bikes were pretty smashed up. We knew how to look after ourselves. We'd become long distance motorcyclists. At the start of the trip, we hadn't been. And going down that approach road, approaching the Golden Gate, I'm from Harrow in Middlesex, and I never ever thought I'd be riding a motorbike across the Golden Gate that I'd ridden there from London. I didn't, and anybody, millions of people, you can hire a car, can't you?
Yeah.
Hire a car and drive across Golden Gate Bridge, but it's not the same as when you've driven there. And by then we were 16,000 miles from Mill Hill, 16,000 road miles, and that's a long way to go under your kind of, without sponsors or backup trucks or any of that stuff. So that was a special moment. It's a cliche, but it was like being in a film.
You can follow me on Twitter @holiday_hut. Don't forget, travel news in a few moments. You'll get the results of that all-important survey from Expedia. But now I'm concluding the conversation I had with Austin Vince from the Adventure Travel Film Festival. And before we finished chatting, I wanted to know what plans he had for the future.
I just got back from Iran on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent 2 weeks in Iran with my wife. She's writing a book about traveling around Iran by motorcycle, and we just went out to sort of see a few more people and things. I'm off next week. I'm shooting a pilot for a motorcycle travel history show with the comedian Ross Noble.
Mm-hmm.
I organise motorcycle map reading, orienteering events in the Pyrenees. So I do that. I spend 3 months in the Spanish Pyrenees every summer, and then I've got a big dirt bike adventure crossing Nevada off road in October. That's quite exciting. Thankfully, somebody else has organised that, and I've just been invited to join it. So that's the dream ticket, isn't it? Just turn up.
So it's really a holiday then.
Yeah, it is totally. But it's an exciting route. It's a slightly technical off-road route. Obviously, we'll be camping out for 9 days. And they call it the backcountry discovery route of Nevada. So the idea is that I think I've crossed Nevada like 3 or 4 times in cars, but this will be a route across the state completely off-road, and that no one has ever done before. So that's kind of quite slightly exciting.
Coming back to your festivals, how can we find out more about the Adventure Travel Film Festival for this year in Mill Hill?
It's a bit of a mouthful,
mm-hmm.
but the clue's in the website name: www.adventuretravelfilmfestival.com.
That's quite a big hint, isn't it, what it does?
Yeah, it is. It's annoyingly long.
Mm-hmm.
Not like bbc.co.uk. It's annoyingly long, but you can't, the clue's in the name. adventuretravelfilmfestival.com.
And we're about to buy tickets from the website.
It's all there. Yeah, the trailer is there. I mean, if anybody's listening to this and thinks, wow, this does sound quite kind of cool,
mm-hmm.
It is cool, and we've put a lot of effort into the festival, but rather brilliantly, we don't create the content. The content is excellent and results from thousands, if not tens of thousands of hours of effort of other people. And all you've got to do is make the effort to get to Mill Hill, and you get to absorb all of this incredible stuff. And it's the schedule of films is different from year to year. So if you came in 2017, you'd miss all the cool stuff that we have this year. If you want to, if anybody's actually interested, get on the website. You can watch the trailer. You can see some clips from some of the films. All of the films that we're showing are listed there. And I put it to any sane person. You just can't read about this stuff and think, oh, that sounds boring. That sounds boring. It's really, really unbelievable. And the big thing people come away from the festival saying is, how lovely the atmosphere was. I don't mean like 80% nitrogen, 20% oxygen. But the vibe is really, really healthy. It's good, clean fun. It's incredibly inclusive. It's like being at a kind of filmmaker's adventure commune for the weekend. There's no snootiness, or you don't have to worry about, am I too old? Am I too young? Am I too fat? Have I not been around the world enough times to be at this festival? We're all about encouraging people to do stuff. And if you don't want to do anything, just come along and enjoy the films of the people who have done something. And the other thing that people say is how they can't believe the stuff that we've got isn't on television. So it's not like we're showing films that are almost as good as what's on television. Mm-hmm. So please let us off. It's like we're showing films that are better than anything you'll see on TV.
Well, one day, hopefully, there will be. Okay, well, thanks, Austin. Thanks for your time. I'm looking forward to the festival. And
cool.
Good luck with your trip across America.
Oh, great. Thanks very much, then.
Thanks. Checking it out before you check in on the John Guinn Travel Show on ukhealthradio.com. Link for the Adventure Travel Film Festival will be posted at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Although I'm sure you agree it's quite easy to remember, so you shouldn't need to go to my Facebook page to find it. And now the all-important the flip-flop study from Expedia to find the most annoying beachgoer around the world. It turns out that Expedia.co.uk has found, after doing this survey, that the slob, the person who leaves rubbish on the beach, is the most annoying beachgoer. Around 11,000 travellers across 24 countries were surveyed in this, and those who leave rubbish on the beach voted the most unbearable by both Brits and the rest of the world. And both of them was 52% of those questioned. Also, for Brits, not looking after your children and talking loudly are other big no-nos, meaning inattentive parents 38% and the loudmouth 46% make up the rest of the top three. I must admit, not looking after your children and talking loudly are a big no-no for me. I'm a great believer in being quiet and not saying a word when you're on public transport, and I include airlines on this. Just get in, sit down, shut up, get off the other end, don't start playing your music on your phone or anything like that. But I'm a minority in that. But anyway, let's go for the rest of the survey. So, the slob we've already told you is 52%. And then, it came second globally was the boozer. Obviously somebody who drinks heavily, probably the Brits, because it's the global figures, but it's at 41%. Whereas the Brits only put this at 36%. With an inattentive parent, it comes third for both global and the UK. And loudmouth is third for the UK, as we said, but fourth for the global figures. The encroacher. Oh, this is a good one. The person who sits too close. 36 for the global and 31 for the UK. Oh, and I've already mentioned the people who play loud music. The DJ annoys more Brits than global people, apparently. Then there's the sand flinger. And the paparazzi, who photographs strangers. Ogler, who openly stares at others. And that's what sunglasses are for. Amateur. And the chair hog, the person who places belongings on chairs very early in the morning. Yes, that annoys the hell out of me. Horrible people. And the report also says that Brits are most annoyed in the world by the diner who brings a full meal to the beach. And 19%, but that only upsets 1% of the Swedes, 2% of the Italians, and 2% of the Norwegians. And again, this chair hog is somebody who places his belongings on beach chairs first thing in the morning and does not return until much later. Horrible, horrible people. Upsets just about everybody. And in my own personal experience, though, it's not the Germans who do it, it's the Brits. But anyway, who annoys you on holiday? Let me know, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Well, that's the end of this week's show. If you have any opinions on taking kids out of school during term time, or if you've been on an adventure travel holiday, please do share your experiences, your thoughts, your pictures at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. And I do hope you can join me next week, which happens to be the 4th birthday of the travel show. And for the last 4 years, I've always been checking it out before you check in.